Good evening and welcome to the Thai PBS World. 7 senators from the U.S. Democrat Party introduced a resolution to support freedom of speech and freedom of assembly in Thailand in the face of ongoing anti-government protests. Ladda Tammy Duckworth, a Thai-born U.S. senator, has also joined a group of U.S. senators. Bob Menendez, who is a ranking member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, described the Thai protesters as Thailand's reformers, who he said are not seeking a revolution. They are simply yearning for democratic changes to their country's political system, for freedom of speech and assembly, and for Thailand to be a part of the community of democratic nations, he said. Menendez said the resolution is a clear message of solidarity and support for freedom of speech and freedom of assembly in Thailand. He also urged all parties not to engage in violence or harassment. Joining Menendez in introducing the resolution is Duckworth, a Thai-born war veteran and a Democrat senator from Illinois. Duckworth called on Thai leadership to listen to the people and respect the democratic principles. As a Thai American who fought to protect the right to peacefully protest here at home, I know that both the long-standing, strong relationship between the U.S. and Thailand, as well as every individual's inalienable democratic rights, are critically important to uphold and defend, said Duckworth. Dick Durbin of Illinois said the world is watching as the Thai people raise their voices to reassert the same democratic aspirations that we Americans hold so dear. As the people of Thailand debate changes to their constitution, their political future should be defined through peaceful dialogue, not violence, harassment, or prosecution. In particular, the voices of the many brave Thai students and youth deserve attention and respect, he said. Thai health authorities are investigating a new case of local infection of Covid-19 in relation to a Thai businesswoman who were on the same flight from Chiang Rai to Bangkok. The case under investigation relates to a Thai businesswoman who travels with another woman who had sneaked back from Tha Ki Lek of Myanmar and later tested positive for the virus. According to Dr. Sopon Iamsiri Thawon of the Disease Control Department, the 51-year-old businesswoman was from Singhburi province. The woman was quoted as confirming that she had not visited Myanmar. Dr. Sopon said health authorities had to verify how she contacted the disease. Meanwhile, the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration (CCSA) reported new local infection in Chiang Rai. It said the patient was a 28-year-old Thai male working at an entertainment venue in Chiang Rai province, where he is now being treated. The man came into contact with a Thai woman in neighboring Phayao who had returned from the Myanmar border town of Tha Ki Lek and later tested positive for the virus. The Disease Control Department reported that in the past 1 week, 14 of the Thais who illegally returned from Tha Ki Lek were found to be infected with COVID-19. The Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration (CCSA) said today the local infection in Chiang Rai was among the 14 new cases reported today. The other 13 new cases were arrivals from Nepal, Ukraine, the Netherlands, Czech Republic, Germany, Norway, the U.S. and Myanmar. The Public Health Ministry has also been focusing its attention on visitors to the Farm Festival at Sing Park in Chiang Rai last week. Its concern was sparked by the visit there by an infected Thai woman. The ministry asked the visitor to quarantine themselves for 14 days and to seek medical help if they develop fever or a loss of senses of smell and taste. In a message posted on its Facebook today, the CCSA said public health authorities in Chiang Rai are seeking identities of Thais working at service and entertainment venues in Tha Ki Lek, which is now known as an origin of the spread of the virus. Many Thais who worked on the Myanmar side of the border are reported to have slipped back into the country without going through immigration checkpoints and being subject to medical tests and required quarantine. Despite the discovery of new infection cases, public health authorities are confident that they still have the overall situation under control. They have dismissed fears that the new cases signal a potential second wave of the pandemic. Meanwhile, people in the border district of Betong, Yala province have been warned not to lower their guard and to wear face masks every time they are outdoors after a Thai woman in local quarantine after her return from Malaysia with 2 friends on November 25th tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday. Local officials said the woman had a fever, cough, and muscle pains. It has been 6 months since Thai activist Wanchalerm Satsaksit was abducted during the daylight in Cambodian capital of Phnom Penh, and up until now, the disappearance still a case of mystery. In their rallies over the past few months, anti-government protesters in Thailand have been highlighting Wanchalerm's abduction as an example of what they see as a state-sanctioned suppression of government critiques. According to eyewitness accounts, Wanchalerm, 37, was bundled into a vehicle in front of his Phnom Penh apartment in June while he was talking on a phone. Today, a Buddhist prayer ceremony was held outside the apartment by Wanchalerm's sister, who called on Thai and Cambodian authorities to solve the case, according to Reuters. We do not know the perpetrator, however, it is the duty and responsibility of authorities both in Cambodia and Thailand to find the truth, Wanchalerm's sister Sitanan Satsaksit told reporters after the ceremony. Sitanan had earlier said that Wanchalerm was speaking on his mobile phone to her when he was abducted. Sitanan said the family still hoped to be reunited with their brother, but said the response of authority in both countries had not been sufficient. Sitanan is due to appear at a hearing about the case in a Phnom Penh court on December the 8th, where she planned to submit photographs and video to show that her brother was in the city at the time of his alleged abduction. Cambodian National Police spokesman Che Kim Nguyen, who has previously said police were unaware of the incident, declined to comment. In a statement, the Thai embassy in Phnom Penh said it was following the case, but could not provide specific comment at this time because the case is currently under legal process. The embassy said it was closely cooperating with Cambodian authorities and would continue to provide assistance to Wanchalerm's family. Anti-government protesters have been calling for justice for Wanchalerm and several other Thai activists who fled the country after a 2014 military coup and have disappeared from Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam, with some later found dead. Thai authorities have said they had nothing to do with the disappearances.